All right, Kenman here, and today we are going to finish the die project number 37, round 3, fight. Yeah, it's been a little interesting with 36 and 37 kind of semi-combined, and you've already probably watched the videos to get caught up to where you are now. If not, there's kind of where it all started, 36 and 37, but we are on 37. 36, as you know, if you watched, is done already. And now let's go ahead and put this one back together, finish it up in a third stage, and call it a day. Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Get stuff out of the way for a moment. All right, this is the Kizer Lieb. Or is it the Lieb Medium or something like that? I think it's Lieb M. Whatever. It's the Lieb. It's a great button lock from Kizer. It is the first micarta handles that we've attempted. And I've got them upside down. Basically, we did some dye, kind of put it in some yellow and kind of green and blue, and ended up with this really dark color. Right? I'm going to grab, let's see, like this Bugatti. That's what it looked like originally. Okay. So put some color to it, got them like this. And then on my last live stream, I'm going to start be doing, yeah, that's what I said. I will start doing a regular live stream on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you are interested, come check it out. And last Thursday, we sanded these down and got them ready for the final step here. So we did some weathering. Kind of give it some lighter colors. Leave some of the darker colors. Kind of wear it in a little bit in some spots. What's everyone think? My lighting seems a little funny. Yeah, so let's go ahead and put these back to, let's just put it back together, see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, I should have thought about it a little before. It is a button. Got a button lock. Here's where these are gonna go. I wonder if I want to that might be a good idea. Sorry, I'm thinking talking, speaking. What are we, 3 minutes, Dan? Get to work. Okay, so this came in through this side. It is a captive pivot. The bottom of this is flat and the bottom of that is flat, but it went in through the opposite side from when it was originally done, which is actually going to help for putting the button back on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start a couple of these going and get this kind of pre-assembled. Not tightening it all the way down, just kind of getting that barrel on there to kind of hold that together. I'm going to do the same with this one, except for I'm not going to put it in that spot. I'm going to put it in this lower one. That way, pieces will hold together a little bit better. We have a button lock here, and with a button lock comes a spring, and that spring always can get sprung. So it makes that button lock work a little bit different when you're trying to put her back together, because you got to make sure you don't let that spring go shooting. Spring is actually going to sit in this cavity right there. Okay. And then if I let this go, the pivot will just fall right to the ground. So I got to be careful with that. So let's see. The bearings are the same on both sides, so I'm just going to drop that one on there. I like to pay attention when you take a knife apart so that when you put it back together, if the bearings have specific sides going specific ways, you try to do your best to put it back together the same way you took it apart. The way these buttons work is it kind of interlocks. Actually, is this one I might be able to do? With like the last couple button locks I've done, you really have to put the button, you have to interlock it in the blade before. See, it's never going to go up there though, because this is going to be like that. Okay, got to situate it over that spring. This is that part where, see, everything starts to collapse on you here. Okay, maybe try it closed like that. That's the trick, right? Because now I can go right over this spring, get right on there. Okay, so now the button, gotta make sure we can push it into the spot. Ooh, nice and quiet for a moment there. I like the sound of that. What just happened? Okay, I think we are pinched properly, so I'm going to hold a little pressure on here, get the pivot started. When you put a knife back together, you want to be careful to pay attention to the blade centering. So I haven't tightened anything down yet. I'm just kind of getting everything in, getting it started, and then I'll pay attention to that blade when we tighten it all down and you do your best to get it centered. But if you do not, you can go back. There's some moves you can redo and back up to try to fix it and get it where it needs to be. This is nice. Everything I'm using right now is with a T8, which is really cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten. Oftentimes the knives, the pivot is a T8 and then everything else is T6. So I tighten that tight but not super tight. The blade is now, it should be centered or a little bit that way, because when you loosen it back to where you want it, it's going to go that way a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and crank the rest of these down. I like to not fully crank them. I like to get them pretty much where they just give that tight resistance, get them all in, then go back and do all four tight. Is it 100% necessary? No, but I like to keep things even, keep it uniform, and once you kind of get into a habit of doing something. Okay, so let's loosen this just a little. Make sure it's centered. I can still loosen a little bit more. We'll find out when it's out if it's tight enough. I need to tighten that back down just a little. A little more. Ooh, this color. I am excited. Uh-oh. Something sounds funny. You hear that? Why does it sound kind of weird? Maybe it's just quiet in here. Maybe I just need to put a little oil in there. When you take a knife apart, often you really you remove a lot of those excess oils that kind of the knife likes to have for lubrication. I think we're good though. Just being a little paranoid or just listening for stuff that I don't need to listen to. Okay, so pocket clip, I am a lefty, so it goes in this way, not this side. It goes on this side right here. Oops. We have done it though. We are pretty much there. What are we at? 9 minutes, not too terrible. And we'll just get this pocket clip down. Been doing a bunch of smaller knives lately, and some of them I've been taking the pocket clip off, and I've actually liked it. When they're really little and you put them in that 5th pocket, they don't really need a pocket clip per se, depending on the size. Alright, and I like to go back and forth once or twice with the pocket clip because there's a little spring on it. When they're so close together, you get one tight, it loosens the pressure on the other one just a little bit. And we are there. The Kizer Lieb die project number 37 complete. As we can see, action seems to be great. It is a button lock only, so I'm really only able to open it and close it with the button or with that flipper tab. And it seems that the action is awesome. We are tight. It is centered beautifully. So all we have left to do now is to look at our work with the custom handle, the only micarta custom job that Kenman has done so far, but I'm going to do some more because it was pretty straightforward and easy. All right, what do we think of the final product? I dig it. I really like it. I like the spots like here where it's kind of worn on those raised up kind of corners where like it would bang up against something. Basically, we did a sanding job to kind of give it a natural weathered look, which basically means you're trying to make it look like it's been used and kind of worn in and over time has kind of developed into what it is. And so you can make up stories and things for what you think of, that, oh, how did this big dark mark get put there, or how did this gash or this scratch appear? And it kind of makes it seem like it's that extra character, a little bit more story to it. I love it. I think it's great. Everybody's got a different style, different taste. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I have a photo. I can't remember, was it this side? Bing. Or it's either that side. Bang. One of them will have the before shot next to it, and you can kind of see that's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like now. Action is great. The Lieb is a worker. It's an awesome shape for the blade. The point is in a good spot for doing some work. Lots of jumps up across the back. Really good feel. The handle's a little bit larger, so it's just got a little bit beefier size. It feels like you're holding on to something, but it's big enough, it sticks out the back. Not really much of a choke up right there, but you can really do some stuff with this, and it's fun. You can take this out of your pocket, easy open, easy close, put it away. It almost is flawless. Like that flipper tab just works. The detent on this button lock, boom, it's pretty solid, you can see. So if I try to fail it, push it as soft as I possibly can, it's still, you saw how slow that went. There, I was able to do that. I think I'm going to need to put some oil in here. I can kind of feel it feels like it's a little scratchy. But yeah, all in all, I go on and on about this knife. The Lieb, there it is, the Lieb M. So that means is there a bigger one or a smaller one? If there's a bigger one, man, wow, that'd be a hog. Great knife. I can't wait to use this. Can't wait to carry it around and just break it in a little bit more. See how this micarta develops. How does everyone think I did with this first micarta weathering job? I have several knives for the project coming up that are micarta that we get to mess around with. So, yeah. I mean, here's that Bugai. That was kind of what it was before. I think it turned out great. I'm happy. That's going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Helps me out and I really appreciate it. Tune in on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central Time if you want to go live with me, the Kenman, doing some crazy fun stuff. I got some weird wacky knife stuff coming up soon. It's going to be great. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.